Tell me when we're live.
Okay, we should be live.
Live and direct. Hello, everybody. Everybody but Steve, who's got a problem. There we go. Sadly for the audience, we have discovered soundboard. Sing a shanty. The singer in the family must be Steve, I think, for now. So I know at the end of the show, I told you we were going off to help Lindsay and Nolan with surgery for Sienna. She had cochlear implant surgery done on Tuesday. And it was heart-wrenching for all of us, but she has come through it just fine. And I'm going to get into it on the show. Lindsay says it's okay with her if I explain what a cochlear implant is, how it works, and what their experiences are. Because it's a cool tech angle, but basically they implanted a magnet into her skull and wires down into her cochlea, and then tomorrow they're going to attach the outside magnet and turn it on. And it should take a while before she actually gets sound that she understands, because you're basically learning to hear electrically rather than mechanically. So there's no... like all your eardrum no longer works at all. She has no audio out of that into that ear. So it should be pretty cool. We're excited for her, but it was harrowing, like I said. Yeah. Are you in commission, Steve?
Yes, I'm back in commission.
Did the lightning cable fix it?
Lightning helped, yes.
Must have gone dead and didn't give you enough warning.
Yeah, that was very odd.
Well, I am actually ready to start, Mr. Creaky Chair. I think we need to get you some WD-40. Oh, your cousin has a cochlear implant. Oh, that's cool, Kurt. Life-changing. Good. Good. Yeah, hearing aids have helped a lot for Sienna, but only on the left side. The right side is in bad enough shape that she can't actually hear much at all out of that ear. So that's why they said, okay, let's go do it. Life-changing in a good way. Yes, thanks for the distinction, Kurt. Yeah, very good. By the way, I haven't forgotten about your contribution. I've got still juggling all the balls of the different contributions we have for the show, and so it still will play. I just haven't gotten to it just yet.
Now, I don't think we've done a roll call, have we?
We have not done roll call because nobody called for a roll call. We've got, I guess,
where's Al when you need him?
Right, Brett and Kevin and Frank and Mike and Ed and Rose and Sandy and Steve and Chris and Michael. And let's see, I saw Rose there. By the way, Al is the only person who commented he listened to the very end of the show and he heard the correction about Columbus landing at Plymouth Rock, and he got a big kick out of it. I am hearing sounds every time anybody comes in and out, and I didn't think I had that on. Where is that? Soundboard. I don't want that. Choose a server. Choose a sound. Preview. Video. Oh, Lord. What do you think it is? Why would that have come on? Notifications. How about that?
You're talking about Discord?
Yeah. It's making that noise every time somebody comes in or out.
Mm-hmm.
Message deafen, undeafen, mute, unmute, voice disconnected. User join, user leave.
There's a disable all notification sounds.
Well, I don't necessarily want to get rid of everything, do I?
Well, there's a lot to deal with. There are like 15 of them if you want to.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if that fixes it. All right. All right. We should get going, though, huh?
Yes.
Here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Monday, August 27th, 2023, and this is show number 955. Well, the trips we're taking this summer just keep on coming. We ended up canceling our trip to Houston because I got a cold and I didn't want to take the risk with our new grandson. However, missing that trip opened up our ability, after my cold was gone, to go to San Diego to help Lindsay and Nolan out when our granddaughter had to undergo some surgery. It's actually great news that she had the surgery, and I'm going to tell you all about it soon because there's an awesome tech angle. Now, we only moved our trip to Houston out by a few weeks, so now it's actually more times that we're going to be gone than we expected to be. So we will still be relying on the kindness of the NosillaCast castaways to keep the show alive and not lose our 18-year streak of continuous shows. Next week, we're going on a hiking trip, as in tomorrow, where there won't actually be any internets at all, not even cellular service. I know I'm kind of getting the shakes just thinking about it. The good news is I've got a couple of recordings in the can from a few other folks, but if you have anything cool you'd like to review for the show, or a tech tip or a trick, please grab a microphone and make a recording for us. You can send them to Allison@podfeet.com. Well, this week, both Jill and Bart step in with some content which saved the show, along with a really interesting lesson on audio from Andy from New Hampshire. I'll even squeeze in one review I was able to write in between toddler cuddling sessions. All right.
So your audio meter was going into the red quite a bit. You might want to check your sound level, whether your waveform looks okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think it's okay. Hello, hello, hello. It usually goes between -6 and -3, doesn't it?
I don't know. I really can't see your numbers.
I'll listen to it. Well, this week, both Jill and Bart step in with some content, which sounds pretty good to me.
All right.
I can turn it down one notch if it makes you happier. That seems lower. Let me just record. Okay, let's see how this sounds. Is that better? Does that make you happier?
Still going into the red, but if it sounds okay, you're probably
Let's see
fine.
how this sounds. Squeeze in one review I was able to... Yeah, I don't think it made any difference. Somebody's suggesting that I do a chapter mark.
Mm-hmm.
Did do a save. All right. Let's see. And go over here and balanced audio. And copy link. So happy that works. All right. Here we go. A few weeks ago, when Bart and I did our test recording for Security Bits, his audio levels were super low. He adjusted all of the appropriate software settings and nothing changed. But then he touched his mic and its cable, and the problem actually went away. We thought the problem was just, a ghost in the machine, so we started recording. Halfway through that recording, though, his audio dropped again, and I just let it go, figuring, Auphonics leveling would fix it. Unfortunately, when Auphonic raised his audio back up for that second half of the episode, the noise came up as well, and it sounded pretty terrible. Last week, when Bart's audio dropped dramatically again in the middle of Security Bits, I stopped him because I didn't want another bad recording. Again, he touched his mic cable and his audio popped back up again. Bart said he probably needed to buy a new XLR audio cable for his mic. Now, I'm going to attempt to play for you what we heard last week, just so you can remember what it sounded like. This may not work because this audio recording is going to go through a phonic leveler, so it might sound like it doesn't diminish at all. But it's a couple minutes of audio here where you'll hear Bart talking and then me, and then he'll be talking, and then all of a sudden you'll hear it drop real low. Okay, let's see. See if this will work. Put that in there. And then me, and then he'll be talking, and then all of a sudden you'll hear it drop real low.
General Maniac was a spin-off out of Apple in the John Scully days that tried to make the iPhone about a decade before the iPhone. And it's where someone you may have heard of, what's his name? Father of the iPod. His name was just falling out of my head because I was about to say it out loud, and that's how it always goes.
You mean Johnny Ive? No.
No. No, the engineer, bald head, really, really nice guy.
Blanking on it too. Okay, keep going. You can yell it out in a few minutes when it comes to
Anyway,
you.
the point being, when you see the people who are in this company and how close they came to doing...
Hey, Bart, hold on just a second. Your audio just dropped like it did a couple of weeks ago. We've been trying to chase down an interesting problem where Bart's audio just suddenly drops.
No.
Did you just change them? Yep, it's back.
Huh.
You have a bad audio cable.
I wiggled the cable. I'm going to order myself a new XLR cable.
Okay. So that's where we left our heroes. And now Actually, let me just record this bit here. Can you hear that ending for a second?
Huh.
You have a bad audio cable.
I wiggled the cable. I'm going to order myself a new XLR cable.
All right. I played that for you, and I told you all that because we got a fantastic explanation of what is probably happening from an audio engineer who's been listening to the show for at least as far back as 2012. Now, in the show notes, I've got... Actually, I don't need to. I need to just jump right in there. All right. Now, Andy Dolph. So it's a long explanation, so I'm not going to play the entire thing, but basically... He explains that high-end audio cables like XLR cables have two signal wires, and they do some interesting signal processing that makes the noise go away, induced noise, and amplifies it. And if one of those gets broken, you get the noise, so the noise is not reduced, and your audio drops by 50%, which is what it sounds like exactly what's going on here. Okay, let me make sure this transition's okay. It's 2012.
Hi, Alice.
But give me a little bit more gap there. Far back as 2012.
Hi, Allison. Andy from New Hampshire here. I'm an audio engineer in my day job in large part.
Okay, and we're going to go to the end of him. And then I'm going to jump back in.
And so I figured I would share it.
Well, Andy's explanation of how the phase reversal affects the noise points even more certainly to the cable being Bart's problem. Remember when I said that Auphonic, when it raised his audio levels after the failure, also raised the noise? Well, I was curious why that happened, because it's kind of part of Auphonic's magic that it doesn't raise noise. We now know from Andy's explanation that the induced noise was no longer canceled out if only one of the signal wires was functioning, and that's why it sounded so bad after Auphonic worked on it. I really appreciate this explanation, Andy, even though it did take me 2 passes through listening before I completely understood. Alrighty. Now we need a chapter mark. Steve, you got a big kick out of that explanation, right?
Yes.
Has
Yeah.
it made complete sense to you as an
Yeah,
electrical engineer?
Yeah, and I've heard this, I think they call it a balanced cable or balanced microphone. I've heard this technique used before. In fact, it's typically used for a lot of devices that use a twisted pair combination.
He goes into that in the explanation, yeah.
So it's not just audio cables that use this technique to cancel the noise but amplify the actual signal. But analog audio is a good one. It's a good use of it.
Well, they're twisted. These are twisted in the
saying
the XLR cables.
I understand.
You're
just
saying
that
other kinds of twisted cables.
under other applications besides audio, where you want to eliminate noise, like in electrical analog signals for other things besides audio, where they use twisted pairs for the same reason, and they cancel out.
Kurt says RS-485 uses it in the digital communication realm. Is RS-485 a spec?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking Kurt. I need to find... It must be, right?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. Okay, so Jill is not here, by the way, because she's camping. Successor to RS-232. Camping. All right, let's hear how this transition goes. This through listening before I completely understood.
Hi, this is Jill from the North Woods. Again, I mentioned about how I was using...
Okay, so this is all about some transcription software for the Mac called Whisper AI. And I'm going to say a few things at the end.
Related to this particular review. Thanks so much. Have a great week.
Well, Jill, thank you so much for this. This was always great. Everything you do is fantastic. And I really, really enjoyed this one. And I got a lot out of this because Jill turned me onto this software a while ago, and I discovered a couple more things that I wanted to mention. In the Mac App Store, the tool is called Whisper Transcription, which is what she calls it. But when you download it, it's going to be called Mac Whisper. So I'm glad that Jill detailed some of the export options because I actually dislike the massive smushed paragraph export that she really likes. Different strokes for different folks, right? I prefer the export paragraphs options, which make small, easy to read paragraphs. When I see a giant paragraph, my brain just shuts down completely and I can't even edit it. I think it's great that MacWhisper, also known as Whisper Transcription, has options on export, options for pricing, and even a free model. Now, I ran the app through my voiceover test, and I didn't find anything that was inaccessible. The flow was a little bit odd, like on the editing page, the progress bar on playback revealed itself before the play button itself, but that could easily be my lack of skill using voiceover. One button wasn't labeled, which visually was 2 opposing arrows, and it turned out to be a search and replace tool. Other than that, it seemed to work well with voiceover. Now remember, I'm a high novice level user of voiceover, so give it a free trial first if you're interested. Now, in a very meta moment, I actually used Whisper Transcription to transcribe the article of Jill's to make the blog post. That made for a great experiment in seeing how good it was at transcribing Jill's voice. Now, it didn't make any outright mistakes, even with the small model that comes free with the service. I would definitely give Whisper Transcription a high review as well, as Jill did. And I also transcribed... God, I'm bad at doing things on the fly. I'm going to get rid of this. I would definitely... I also used Whisper Transcription, or MacWhisper, to transcribe Andy's recording that he gave us all about the audio file. So if you want to go reread what he said, you can read the transcription as a blog post. I definitely give Whisper Transcription a high review as well. In his case, for his recording, I did bump it up to the higher level version, one of the bigger models, and that did a much better job at transcribing what he had to say. Clumsy but done. I think she did give me a little bit of just was able to text me and say she was having a great time. So that was good to see.
So for support the show, I'm seeing what appears to be 2 separate sections on it, one misplaced or one in a different spot than the other. So I see one under support the show where you talk about 2 heroes, right? Mm-hmm. And then down under call sheet, below that, you have another mention. Is that all? Was that meant to be also support the show, or is that something else?
Yeah, that's the one about Chris.
Right. So I'm not quite sure.
That's. Thank you. Yeah, I need to move that. Okay, that's going to be tricky to combine those 3.
Yeah, this will be one of the longer support the shows. Yeah. That's fine.
Okay. Chris, just to verify, you are the same Chris that then went to Patreon and pledged your support, correct? Because I didn't actually hear back from you on whether that was you. Let me verify. Yeah, call sheet is getting a lot of buzz. Yes. Okay, good.
Thank you,
I meant
Chris.
to thank you at the end of the show last time, but, well, whatever. Anyway, okay, I want to read my ending before. That was just a reminder.
And to support the show chapter mark.
There is one.
Oh,
you mean put it in. Yeah, it's in the show notes. Okay, thank you. And this time it's going to go to PayPal. All right. Oh, you'll be hearing about Call Sheet, Kurt. I'll be talking about it. It's amazing. We have 3 heroes of the week this week. First of all, Ian Prinsen and George from Tulsa, both of these fine gentlemen used PayPal to make one-time donations to show the value they get out of the Podfeed podcast. They've also been listening to the show for ages, and I consider them friends. What they each wrote on their donations also made me smile. Ian wrote, quote, "Long-time listener, long-time lurker. Cheers and happy feet." Isn't that cute? He always writes to me with happy feet at the end. But George from Tulsa really took the cake when all he wrote in the PayPal donation was stifling ennui. Now, for those of you who didn't take 4 years of high school French as I did, or being a French teacher like Sandy, ennui is the French word for boredom. I really think the next set of Podfeet t-shirts we make should simply say, Podfeet Podcast, stifling ennui since 2005. In any case, my heartfelt thanks go to both Ian and George for their generosity in financially supporting the Podfeet Podcast. If you'd like to be a hero like these two fine gentlemen, head over to podfeet.com/PayPal and make a donation of your own. Now, we do have a third person that I want to thank. During the live show last week, we were joined for the first time by Tectonic Chris. They said they were a longtime listener, first-time attendee of the live show. But even better, they said they had a great time and would definitely be back because the live show audience is really fun. But then they did something extra. They became our latest patron of the work we do here. How terrific is that? Well, you can be terrific like Chris and decide to support our work financially by going to podfeet.com/Patreon and pledging your support if you'd rather do that. Is that the Ian? Brett, I can't remember. I think Ian Princeton is the same one, but he called himself Longtime Lurker. But I'm pretty sure that is.
He sometimes does come in and doesn't talk much, so it could be Ian.
But you remember Ian with his son, right?
Yeah.
Real tall, blonde guy.
Oh, I remember Ian. I still follow him on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Bart's going to take us up next with a review of Wahoo.
Wahoo!
I hope he introduces himself. I think he does. Or if you'd rather do that.
Hi folks, Bart here with something I don't do very often, a review.
A review. Okay. This is going to be a long show because I haven't done call sheet yet. All right.
Bitching about what to get. I should have done this years ago.
Well, thanks so much for that, Bart. That is a really interesting device. The picture that Bart shows in the show notes shows just his wrist without... God, I'm so bad at ad-libbing.
Bitching about what to get. I should have done this years ago.
Well, thanks so much for this, Bart. That's really an interesting device. I had never heard of the fact that they had them that went on the inside of your arm like that. It looks really comfortable in the photo that he showed anyway, and that does seem to solve a lot of problems. I asked him whether it might also increase your battery life when working out, because when you're running the Apple Watch doing exercise, it actually uses a lot more battery. I mean, if nothing else, it's doing the green LEDs and taking your heart rate and everything. But if it's just getting the heart rate signal through Bluetooth, that might be less energy used, I think. And he thought that it probably does do that. So that's a really, really cool tool. I don't have any of the same problems, but if I did, I would definitely try out the Wahoo Ticker Fit heart rate monitor.
So,
you mean?
So getting the heart rate by Bluetooth, you mean the watch is getting it from the other device he's wearing it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
rather than measuring it itself.
I didn't even know you could pair things to an Apple Watch. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But apparently you can.
Yeah. I've never done that with anything else
Kevin.
other than my phone, but that's automatic, I guess.
Yeah, I did. Who knew? Bart knew. All right, here we go. Now it's about call sheet. Oh yeah, Steve loves his Tafika watch band too. The orange NASA one. Hey, where's NASA tonight?
Yeah.
There will be a live show next week. Oh, you know what, guys? Steve and I are going to be on a plane to Houston during the Apple announcement.
That's September 12th?
That's what it's looking like. Yeah. They're saying 12th or 13th, but most people are saying 12th. Yeah. Maybe we'll pay for internet on the plane.
Now, you all are still free to come into the chat room and chat up.
Oh, no.
You don't
Sandy,
need us there.
In fact, you might be in charge, Sandy.
Yeah. We don't need to be there for you guys to use it.
That's for sure.
It's a community room.
Gasp. The reign of terror begins.
There isn't actually much responsibility. You don't really run that for these sessions.
Yeah, that one's the chat room. Yeah, you're right. It's a much more democratic thing. We
Yeah.
might need to give her banning privileges, though.
That's right.
Do the wing woman and wingman have banning privileges?
They probably do.
Yeah, they should.
Yeah, so
You should put on
If you-
podfeed.com when the next live show is. It is. It's at podfeed.com/live. It always shows you.
So, Sandy and Kevin, if you right-click on someone's name, don't do it, but if you right-click, do you see a pull-down menu that has a whole list of options, including ban and kick and all those?
Let me try it on Ed.
No,
Oh,
there are permanent bans, so be careful. There are timeouts, disconnects, but do you see...
can I give Kevin a timeout, please? Pretty please.
You do
Yeah, they're
see
in
it.
bright
Okay.
red if you... Okay, good.
You see mute, but you don't see ban? Well, ban is...
Oh, I think... Oh, shoot. You don't see any red options below speak message? Or, no, not
Block.
speak message.
Interesting.
Oh, you see block.
I don't even see block.
So what we see... Actually, is
I see server
this.
mute, server def, and disconnect, timeout, kick, and ban.
This is only when we go on the person's face, like not the message, but you have to right click on the avatar. Maybe the name does it too.
Okay, but they do have a block.
Does
So
everybody
they have
a block?
everything in white. They don't have anything in red, is what I'm hearing. Well, that block may just be for you. I don't know if that's for the entire...
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, like you just don't want to hear Kevin. You just not.
Yeah.
We have to still hear him, but
So
you don't.
someone other than Sandy and Kevin, do you see the same thing? Thanks, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Brett
it's
says
just for
blocked
them.
just for them.
So the red is more universal. The white
Maybe
is
we
just...
need to discuss elevation of privileges, Steve.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
All right, I'm going to
course.
do call sheet.
All right. Get to it, man.
Man. So like Forbes calls me dude. I go like, dude. Where's drunk Nick Nolte when you need him?
Yeah.
Yeah, where's he been? I haven't seen him lately. All right, here we go. I distinctly remember the day my brother showed me this really cool new website ages ago called the Internet Movie Database at imdb.com. It was amazing. You could look up any movie or TV show or actor and find out everything about it or them. I loved using it for a long time, and while I never became a member, I did go out of my way to always buy my movie tickets through IMDb so they would get some money because of my participation and use of their tool. But over the years, the ads on IMDb have become untenable. It's nearly impossible to find what I want to know, and I hate every minute of the experience of going into IMDb. But there's good news. Casey Liss, one of the hosts of the Accidental Tech podcast, has just released a delightful alternative. It's an iOS app named Call Sheet. This app has no ads. It has no tracking. It doesn't even require a login. You can do your first 20 searches for free to see what it's like, and after that, you can subscribe for the grand sum of $1 a month or the bargain basement price of $9 per year. Now, I had the opportunity to beta test Call Sheet over the last few months. Even in beta, I knew this was a great app, and I'd be buying it the minute Casey released Call Sheet. A call sheet is a necessary tool for Steve and me because we are terrible at names. We'll see an actor and start yelling, that guy, he's the one, you know, the one in the thing with that woman where they're in that place, remember? You know the one I mean. In other words, I use Call Sheet every single day. Let me use an example to explain how I use Call Sheet, and I'll tell you about the awesome features. So Steve and I are working our way through very old TV shows we used to watch, and right now we're watching Family Ties. We were watching an episode entitled Best Man. In this episode, Alex P. Keaton, played by Michael J. Fox, has a best friend named Matt Gilbert who decides to get married. Steve exclaimed that he knows that guy. He thinks it's the same actor that plays Danny Concannon in The West Wing. Well, whenever one of us makes a claim like this, it's important to verify the claim so that appropriate credit can be bestowed. As it turns out, we're also in the middle of watching The West Wing, this one for the first time, and if it's the same guy, he was 17 years younger in Family Ties, so this would be a great pull if Steve was correct. In Call Sheet, I needed to find Family Ties, find the name of the actor playing the young groom-to-be, and then see if The West Wing is amongst that person's credits. Well, Call Sheet features a prominent search field where I was able to search for Family Ties. With the Family Ties page selected, there are 2 tabs, one for the cast and one for the crew. If you're looking for one of the main characters, this is where you would look to find the actors' names and more about them. But it's not a great way to find a character who may be only in a few episodes. To find the actors in a specific episode, Call Sheet provides a scrolling row of horizontal buttons that scroll across for each season. We knew we were watching Season 3, Episode 9 from 1982. Well, I scrolled across to Season 3, and then I could see a list of all the episodes by number and name, so I could go straight to Episode 9. Now, just being able to drill right down to the episode makes me love Call Sheet. Since the actors that are always in the show are listed in the front page of the show, the episode actors are a small list to scroll through. The second actor listed was Timothy Busfield playing the character Doug. Now I could tap on Busfield's name, and that opened up his entry in Call Sheet with all of his credits. I tapped on his image. Okay. I'm going to actually duplicate that sentence, but some water. I tapped on his image and it came up full screen, allowing me to see his 66-year-old portrait and confirm that this was probably the actor who played that young character in Family Ties. From his page, I could scroll down to the late 90s when The West Wing was on. Sure enough, on Busfield's page, The West Wing was listed, and it said he played the character Danny Concannon in 26 episodes of the show. This workflow is intuitive and responsive, and as I said up front, it's just delightful. Now, if what I described was all Call Sheet could do, it would be worth the price of $1 a month to me. Okay, now, too many fumbles. If what I just described was all Call Sheet could do, it would be worth the price of $1 a month to me, but there's so much more. You might wonder where Call Sheet gets all of its yummy data. The database behind Call Sheet is from themoviedatabase.org. Now, Call Sheet isn't yet available on the Mac, but you can directly use the movie database from that URL. It's not full of ads, so it's a much better experience than IMDb is now. I'm really hoping Casey does release a Mac version, though. Even the iPad version on Apple Silicon would be fine. Now, back in my day, we only had NBC, ABC, or CBS, and you even knew what time the show was on. 8 p.m. on NBC was always the best time. In today's world, the number of services to watch TV and movies are seemingly endless, so we need some help figuring out which service is playing the show we want to watch. In Call Sheet, when you look up a show you want to watch, you'll see a big button that says More. From there, you'll see several options, one of which is Where to Watch. This information uses another terrific service called Just Watch. Even within Where to Watch, there are options. Depending on what you want to watch, you may see up to 4 different tabs: Free, Ads, Buy, and Subscription. This allows you to say, check first to see if it's on a service you're already paying for, and if not, how maybe you could buy it or even get it for free. In that same More menu, you can read the parental guidance information, but unfortunately, that's exposed through a link to IMDb. So you literally cannot see past the ads to read the information at first glance. And I'm not joking here. When I go to see the parental guidance on IMDb, I can see the IMDb banner, the title of the show I requested, and then the bottom half of the screen was an ad for vitamin B1 and an invitation to get the IMDb app. Now, one line says certification, and if you click through that, you can see the MPAA and UK parental guidance info. I gotta tell you, I just felt like I had to take a shower after I'd been on IMDb. After plowing through all those ads on IMDb, I did notice a far easier way to get some of the info, at least for US users. On the main page of the show you selected in Call Sheet, it actually says the MPAA rating, such as PG-13. If that's all you need to see, then you don't have to go into IMDb at all. Now back to our More menu in Call Sheet. There are selections to take you directly to the Wikipedia article about the actor or show and the website associated to your search. Now, if you're watching a TV show that has a lot of seasons or a lot of characters, you'll likely be looking up actors for that show pretty often. This is where Call Sheet's Pinned Items feature comes in really handy. If you pin a show or an actor, you can see it in a horizontally scrolling list across the top row of the app, so they're always available to you without doing a new search. Now, speaking of search, if you tap the little book icon in the upper right, you can see your search history. I seem to have the short-term memory of a common housefly, which means I often need to do the search again for something I just recently searched, so this is a really handy feature for me. And let's say you find a show or an actor that you want to tell someone about, you can share a link to it right from within Call Sheet. It shares the link in the movie database, so they don't have to download Call Sheet to see your link. If you like trivia about actors and shows, you can tap the little speech bubble icon, but I gotta warn you, it takes you to IMDb for the trivia. The speech bubble icon is actually called the Quick Access link, and in settings you can change what you see from Quick Access, and the choices are where to watch, Wikipedia, or the webpage for the show. I'm not big on trivia, so I set mine to be where to watch. Now before I start watching a movie, I want to know how long it is. Call Sheet exposes the runtime right on the front page for movies. Now that requires math to figure out if I start watching the movie now, will it be done before my bedtime? Now I follow Casey on Mastodon, and in one of his tweets about Call Sheet, he gave us, I said tweets. Can you change the word tweet to toots or posts, Steve?
Yes.
Thank you. Now before I start watching a movie, now that requires, now I follow Casey on Mastodon, and in one of his posts about Call Sheet, he gave us a little hidden trick. If you tap on the runtime, it'll tell you what time it will finish if you start right now. How cool is that? One of the most interesting things Call Sheet can do is hide spoilers. If there's, say, a beloved character in a series, and you notice that she's in far fewer total episodes than the rest of the main cast, that might be a hint that she's going to get killed off unexpectedly, which might not be what you want to know. In Call Sheet, you can hide cast episode counts and cast character names. Evidently, there's some shows where actors surprisingly play more than one character in a series, and that would be a spoiler. You can also hide episode titles and episode thumbnails. I love this one because I remember finding out that a character who'd been unable to conceive was going to have a baby just because of the episode artwork. Now, as you're selecting each of the spoiler toggles, Call Sheet shows you a little preview of what the shows will look like as you hide each type of item, putting a gray box covering the now hidden information. These options to hide spoilers are saved on a show-by-show basis, so you can tailor Call Sheet just the way you want to see each show. Now, I've been mostly focusing on how Call Sheet displays movies and TV shows, so let's briefly walk through what it presents about people in the industry. Of course, if you see their profile photo and it's displayed pretty big, nope, there's no if in that sentence. Does Call Sheet tell you who the red shirts are? Yeah, if you do an episode count, you'd know, right? Actually, if they get killed in each episode, that wouldn't work. You do see their profile photo, and it's displayed pretty big, but as I mentioned before, you can also tap on it to see it nearly full screen. It's just beautiful. You can see when they were born, and again, Casey saves you the work of doing the math and tells you how old they currently are. I'm not sure it shows this for every person, but there are two tabs on many people's pages in Call Sheet, one for cast and one for crew. If an actor's turned director, you'll find that listed under crew, which is pretty slick. At the top, it tells you what the person is known for, acting, directing, etc., and then a list in chronological order of all of the TV and movies they've been involved in. What you don't see in Call Sheet is a short visual list of what they're most known for. Now, this is a feature in IMDb, and I didn't notice it was missing from Call Sheet until my daughter Lindsay showed me that it's the primary feature she uses IMDb for. So that is something I really wish that Call Sheet had. Now, if you're lucky, the person's bio in Call Sheet will include a list of known for projects, but the visual list is a lot better on IMDb if you can find it in between all of the ads. Now, I'm happy to say that my testing for voiceover support was successful on Call Sheet. As always, my disclaimer is that if I can tell that there's, obvious failures, but there may be some more advanced voiceover tricks that I'm not able to retest, but from my testing, it was accessible. Now, I immediately put Call Sheet on the front page of my iPhone because I use it that often. The only thing I would have changed about Call Sheet is actually the name itself. I'd never even heard of a Call Sheet before learning about Casey's app, so I had to look it up. According to Wikipedia, A daily call sheet is a filmmaking term for the schedule supervised by the assistant director and crafted by the second assistant director. It's really specific. Anyway, they use the director's shot list, the production schedule, and other logistics considerations. It is issued to the cast and crew of a film production to inform them of where and when they should report for a particular day of filming, usually no later than 12 hours before the start of the next workday. Well, maybe you knew that, but I sure didn't. So I worry a little bit that people won't know what call sheet actually is, but hopefully now you do know what call sheet is for. Casey Liss is a really nice guy and only recently has struck out on his own as an app developer. I think he hit it out of the park with his fantastic app that answers the question, where have I seen that guy? It's really fast, it's really simple, it's accessible, there are no ads, and there isn't even a sign-up process. $9 a year to not have to wade through the number and size of ads on IMDb is a very easy buy for me.
Very good. Hey, since you bought it, I can use it too, right?
That's correct. I think it supports family sharing. You should look for it. All right. You're getting close to a chapter count. I have 5.
5. Let me...
There are 5 lights. All right. Well, that is going to wind us up for this week. There will be a live show next week. I have some content stacked up. Again, thanks to the NosillaCastaways. So I'll be able to go off and go hiking without worrying about the show. But there will be a live show. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeed.com anytime you like? That's where you should send in questions or suggestions. Hey, maybe send in that review I asked you to do. You can follow me on Mastodon at Podfeet at chaos.social. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. If you want to join in the conversation, you can join our Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack, where you can talk to me and all of the other lovely NosillaCastaways. It's a great place to have conversations. It's chatty, but not too chatty, just enough. It's really, really fun in there. As you know, you can support the show like, doggone it, my brain is so... Let's see, it's Chris, and then it was Ian and George. Remember, you can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon like Chris did, or you can do a one-time donation at podfeet.com/PayPal like Ian and George. If you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. An hour and 4 minutes. Man.
And that's without security bits or anything.
Yeah.
Cool.
Some of the content I've been getting is long enough that I don't feel like there should be only 2 articles. This was only 3 articles. Well, plus Andy's, it was really full.
Yeah.
Anyway, you hear that? Thanks for listening and stay subscribed. All right. Yeah, the moviedb.org is really good. So if you don't get the app, you can still do that.
So Mike was asking, or Kurt was asking where Casey got the backing data for this app. The source data.
I actually talked about that in the review. So the moviedb.org is primary, but it also uses IMDb and it also uses Just Watch. So that's where and it uses Wikipedia. So it's kind of drawing from a bunch of different sources. He really wanted to make it be a free app, which I don't know why, because he should make money off of this, in my opinion. But he's a little worried that he could end up with the moviedb.org does not charge for their API, but they could at any moment decide to. So this was a way to make sure that he got his finances covered. I think it's a beautiful app. I love it. Lindsay says she won't use it until it has known for. It is kind of a pain because you got to scroll through every single thing they've ever done to find the big stuff. Alrighty, I see 5 links.
That's how many I've got.
It's a miracle.
It worked.
Export. We're going to get out of class early tonight.
Yeah.
Steve's making me pork chops.
But with a special recipe.
Yes.
No chicken.
Not chicken.
We're deviating from the norm.
Well, see, normally it's chicken on Sunday nights because we use the chicken throughout the week to make sandwiches and salads and stuff, and chicken quesadillas. We do all kinds of stuff with it. But this time we're going to be leaving first thing in the morning tomorrow, so we won't have a chance to eat it.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Yep. Well, I think I'm going to let class out early because unless you guys want to watch me produce the show.
No one wants that.
All right. Well, we will see you all next week.
Oh, is that it?
Yes, that was it. Goodbye, Rose. Mwah. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Be good. Nice to see you again, Chris.